All right. You're live. That's what it says. You're live. I'm live. This is number 198 YouTube live yoga routine. Been doing yoga every morning at 5:30 for 198 days. So this morning, before we begin, I want to read a quote that I came across this morning from Joel Osteen. And this is the quote. The question is not, do you have a problem? The question is, does the problem have you? Joel Osteen. So when I read that quote this morning, I thought that is an aspect of yoga that I teach. In other words, don't let a problem become part of you. And we learn that on the yoga mat. For example, being in a pose where you feel, say, a pain in the knee, in the foot, in the back, in the shoulder, in the toe, in the neck, wherever. And what you learn in yoga when you're doing these yoga poses is to recognize that pain, become aware of that pain, but you don't let that pain become part of you. Rather, you position yourself so the pain gets lessened or goes away. Sometimes pain just doesn't go away, no matter what you do. But you don't let that pain become part of you. And that's just an example. That's just an example of what you're learning on the yoga mat. And this is a mindset that you take off the yoga mat and you apply it in the so-called real world. So, for example, if there's a situation that's problematic, that situation stays over there. It doesn't become part of you. Now, that doesn't erase the fact that a situation is problematic. But just like on the yoga mat, you recognize that, you become aware of it, you handle it, you take care of it, you position your life, just like you position your body to lessen the pain or make the pain go away, you do the same thing off the yoga mat. You position yourself where you take care of that problematic situation, but you never let it become part of you. That's the same thing we're learning on the yoga mat. When you're in a pose and you feel something aching, you position yourself to make the ache go away or lessen. Now, in yoga, a lot of instructors say, if it's painful, don't do it. And I agree with that. But I also know for me, and this is just for me, some things that are painful won't go away, even if you get out of the pose. So if that's the case, you recognize, become aware of that pain, and you never let it become who you are. And you learn that on the yoga mat. So when you're off the yoga mat, you apply that same mindset in the so-called real world. Again, a problematic situation happens, you position your life where you handle that situation, handle that so-called problem, and you never let it become part of you. So today, with that quote in mind, we're going to do yoga. And I teach this all the time, but if you're in a pose and you feel discomfort, position yourself where the discomfort goes away. And that's what you're going to learn. And you're going to learn to accept that discomfort as not a part of you. Don't take it in and let it become part of you. That becomes judgment. That becomes controlling. And those are aspects or barriers, in other words, that prevents the mind and body from becoming one. So when you feel a pain, for example, just in the knee, for example, I don't have a knee issue, but say you do. You go in a pose, and you feel that pain. Position yourself. Don't think, man, that pain It's always there. No, let it go. That is a barrier that will prevent the mind and body from becoming one. And when the mind and body becomes one, that is yoga. You're becoming one on the yoga mat. So when you're off the yoga mat in the so-called real world, you're one with everything around you. So that is what you're learning on the yoga mat. So we're going to do the mountain pose, 2 slow sun salutations, holding the poses, working with the poses, becoming one with the pose. And then we'll go into the mountain pose again, settling, focusing on the breathing, and then that'll be it. So feet are shoulder width apart, toes go up, spread the toes as wide as you can. Each toe touches the floor one at a time. Knees are bent, hips are tilted, arms are relaxed, shoulders are relaxed, neck is relaxed. And in the mountain pose, you're lengthening up. So lengthen up. So bring your skeleton up and then let the bones of the skeleton stand on top of each other, sit on top of each other. And finding that spot where the skeleton just stands by itself. Even if you wobble a little bit, you're going with the wobble. That is where true stability is in. So go with the wobble. If you're firm and perfect and you're not moving, that's fine too. But if something happens, you go with the wobble. Sometimes it's the body that wobbles. You go with it. And sometimes it's the mind. Your mind will start to think about something else and your body wobbles. But you go with it. You don't fight it. That's not part of yoga. Fighting it is a barrier. It becomes judgment. You go with it. Say, hey, I thought about something else. And then just bring your focus back to the breathing. Become stable. True stability is in flexibility. That's with the mind and that's with the body. Now bring the palms together, thumbs to the heart center. Push the arms out, up and back. Inhale, go nice and easy. And then exhale. As you exhale, you hinge forward from the lower back, reaching out, keeping the back as straight as you can. And then we're going to fall into ragdoll. Now with the ragdoll, the arms are dangling, the head dangles, and you just release. The back is released. You're just falling into the pose wherever the body goes. You just let it happen. Don't control it. You're not pushing yourself down. You're not pulling yourself down. You're letting go. You're learning to let go. Let go of judgment. Let go of control. And just let the body fall where the body falls. Do not judge it. So if you're up a little higher and you're thinking, hey, I should go down a little bit more. Nope, that's judgment. That will prevent the mind and body from becoming one. Even if you're all the way into the pose and you're doing the so-called textbook pose perfectly, let go, judgment. That's great, but it's still judgment. And we're trying to do yoga, and yoga is when the mind and body connects. So you just accept and focus on the breathing. The palms to the calves, elbows into the sides of the legs. Arch the back, raise the head. Inhale. Inhale as much as you can. And then exhale. As you exhale, you pull yourself in and down. Forehead's going to the knees. Get all the air out. Push all the air out. And again, arch the back, raise the head. Inhale. Inhale as much as you can. And then exhale. As you exhale, you pull yourself in and down. Get all the air out. All the air goes out. Forehead's going to the knees. And again, arch the back, raise the head, inhale. And then exhale, pull yourself in and down, get all the air out. We're going to do 2 more. Arch the back, raise the head, inhale, inhale, inhale. And then exhale, pull yourself in and down, get all the air out. Last one, arch the back, raise the head, inhale. And then exhale. As you exhale, you pull yourself in and down, get all the air out, forehead to the knees. Once all the air is out, then just release and breathe. And just focus on the breathing. So you are pulling yourself in and down, forehead going to the knees, But you only go to the spot right before you feel like, you know what, I can't go any further. You find that spot, settle, accept, and focus on your breathing. Think of nothing else but of the breathing. Once you accept, although you're pulling in and down, you become one with the pose, almost like you're not pulling in and down. You're finding that spot. Make sure you're breathing. Focus on the breathing. Very important pose. So when you inhale, the belly swells with air. It pushes you out of the pose slightly. Let yourself be pushed out. Then we exhale, the belly goes in. You go back into the pose. It's a subtle, subtle movement. You become aware of that movement. Not controlling it. You're just watching it. Aware of it. So when you're off the yoga mat, you become aware of subtleness. So palms to the sides of the feet. Left leg is back into a low lunge. With a low lunge, top of the foot to the floor, knees to the floor. Hips are square, pushing forward diagonally. Front knees not over the toes. If it is, lengthen up some. Palms are to the floor. Maybe your fingertips are to the floor. Maybe you're up like this. Doesn't matter. Letting go of judgment. Settle in the pose. Find out where that spot is right before you feel like, you know what, this is perfect for me. And just settle and focus on the breathing. Think of nothing else but of the breathing. Back is arching, head is up. Now my back, I know I can see myself right here. My back seems straight, but I'm arching for me. And I'm the yoga instructor. But it's about the mind and body connecting. So I do the best I can. You do the best you can. Settle, accept, and let go of all judgment and let the mind and body become one. When the mind and body is one, that is yoga. Yoga is not the pose. And just focus on the breathing. 100% focus on the breathing. Feeling opened in this pose. Although you focus on the breathing, it heightens your awareness, lets you feel what's being stretched, lets you feel what's happening in the body, lets you feel what's happening around you. Again, maybe you're feeling something that's aching. Position the body, get rid of the ache, but you don't let that become part of you. So when you get off the yoga mat, you're in a situation, you see a situation, it's becoming negative, you position yourself to get out of the negativity or to handle the negativity. You can sometimes go into it and handle it. You don't run. I'm not saying run from negativity. I'm saying handle it. Take care of your business, man. Do it. And sometimes you have to just leave. You don't run, but you do handle the situation, however that may be. Sometimes that's leaving. Sometimes it's taking care of it. Either way, it's all taking care of it. So curl the toes under the back. Knee goes straight. Get the leg as straight as you can. High lunge. We're not going to stay in it. We're just using it as a transition pose. And then downward dog. The downward dog, arms are straight, legs are straight, tailbones to the ceiling, heels are towards the floor, and you are pushing into this pose. But you're only pushing to the spot right before you feel like, man, I shouldn't go any further. Find that spot, settle, accept, and focus 100% on the breathing. Think of nothing else but of the breathing. Now, wherever you are, if you feel like you should, then push a little bit more into it. If you feel like you shouldn't, then don't. Don't listen to me. We're doing yoga together. You're listening to your body. I'm not your guru, not your leader. You're going to become your own leader, your own guru. So when you're off the yoga mat, when someone says something to you, or you read something, you don't just believe it. You take it in, you listen to yourself, you analyze it. You're your own guru. And then you're going to drop down to the knees and the chest. It's a strength transition. and into the upward dog. With the upward dog, tops of the feet are to the floor, palms are to the floor. Those are the only things that are touching the floor. Now, if that's too much, you go to hands and knees, do the cow, arch the back. Doesn't matter. If you're doing the cow, that's perfect too. Or do the small cobra. You can do only the small cobra, that's good too. Chest is off the floor, palms are touching the floor, but you're not using them. You're not pushing up. You're pulling up. The back muscles are pull muscles. So you're pulling up, or do the upper dog as best as you can. Then settle, accept, focus on the breathing. Part of the stability is recognizing that, hey, I need to modify this. That's stability, man. Stability is not doing a pose that you can't do. That's not yoga. That's not acceptance. That's trying to be somewhere. All those benefits will happen. Just do yoga. It's a mind and body exercise. And then back to the downward dog, pushing into it. Arms are straight. Legs are straight. Really, really push into it, but you only push into the spot right before you feel like, you know what? I can't go any further. Find that spot. Settle. Accept. And just focus on the breathing. Now, wherever you are, push a little bit more. And then you're going to bring the left foot up between the hands. Low lunge. With a low lunge, top of the foot to the floor, the back knees to the floor. Hips are square, pushing forward diagonally. Back is arching. Head is going up. Front knees not over the toes. If it is, lengthen up some. And just focus on the breathing. You're thinking of nothing else but of the breathing. In this pose, you're also feeling open. In all the poses, you're feeling open. Even a pose that you're physically closed in, if you accept, boom, you tap into openness. It's a mindset. Even in this pose, if you feel like you're going down and you're thinking, man, I'm not doing as good as I should. Nope. Don't even finish that sentence. I won't even finish that because that is judgment. It will prevent the mind and body from becoming one. Once you accept, you tap into openness. The body does not dictate whether your mind is open or not. It's a mindset that we're learning on the yoga mat. So when you're off the yoga mat and you're in a situation that you feel enclosed in, whatever it may be, say it's a job. Always give this example. I've been saying this for days now. If you accept where you are, then boom, your mind will open. You'll find new ways of thinking, new ways to get out of that situation, or you'll reinterpret that situation and you feel like, you know what? This job is awesome. I'm not enclosed. It's all a mindset. High lunge, just for a second or so, get the knee off the floor in the back, toes are curled under, and then standing forward bend. Pull yourself in and down, forehead's going to the knees, and let yourself breathe. And just focus on the breathing. The palms together, reach out, up and back, inhale. Now turn the palms out, push the air down and out, exhale. Last sun salutation, inhale. But exhale, hinge forward from the lower back, standing forward bend, pull yourself in and down, get all the air out. Once all the air is out, release and just focus on the breathing. Think of nothing else but of the breathing. Let yourself breathe. Now, wherever you are, if you feel like it, go into the pose a little deeper. Pull yourself in and down a little bit more. But listen to yourself. Listen to your body. Don't do it if you don't feel like you should. Palms to the sides of the feet. Left leg is back. Low lunge. Feeling open. Remember, low lunge. So the foot to the floor, knees to the floor. Hips are square, pushing forward diagonally. Back is arching. Palms are to the floor. Maybe your fingertips. Maybe you're up. Make sure the knee doesn't go over the toes. Lengthen up some as it does. And then just focus on the breathing, thinking of nothing else but of the breathing. You're going to go to high lunge, curl the toes under the back, knee goes up, get the leg as straight as you can, and just focus on the breathing. We're not going to stay here long. And then downward dog, pushing into it. Really, really push into the downward dog. Arms are straight, legs are straight, tailbones to the ceiling, heels towards the floor. No tension in the neck, so the head dangles. And again, you are pushing into this pose. But you're only pushing to the spot right before you feel like, you know what, I can't go any further. And then just accept, settle, and focus on the breathing. And then wherever you are, push a little bit more if you feel like you should. If you feel like you shouldn't, then don't. Listen to your body. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to the instructor. No, for real, don't listen to me. Listen to me in the sense of saying to you to listen to yourself. And then you go slide into the upward dog. Drop down to the knees, in the chest, you slide up. Tops of the feet go to the floor. Palms are to the floor. And then just settle, focus, and accept. And then if you need to modify this, you go to hands and knees, do the cow, or you do the small cobra. Back to hands and knees. Back to downward dog. Arms are straight, legs are straight, tailbones to the ceiling, heels are towards the floor. It's the last downward dog, so really, really push yourself into it. Focus on the breathing. 100% focus on the breathing. That heightens your awareness, lets you know what's going on in the body. You're not focused on that stuff. You're focusing on the breathing, becoming aware. Push a little bit more, and then left foot goes up between the hands into a low lunge. The low lunge, top of the foot to the floor in the back, knees to the floor, hips are square, pushing forward diagonally. Back is arching, head's going up. Front knees not over the toes, lengthen up if it is. And just feel opened. Accept where you are. And just let the pose become one. You settle in the pose. So even if you're straining in the pose at first, you shouldn't be, but if you are, you just accept that, let that strain go away. Becoming one with the pose. Not fighting the pose. You're not fighting. Some people teach yoga that way, and that's fine. That's perfect. That's fine. That's what they do. But that's not what we're doing. We're accepting where we are. No tension. Not pushing. When you push, you're going to get somebody pushing back. When you push in the pose, you can get your body pushing back. You accept and you become one with the pose. Then curl the toes under the back, knee goes up, high lunge just for a second or so. And then standing forward bend, pull yourself in and down, get all the air out. Once all the air is out, you're just focusing on the breathing. Palms together, reach out, up and back, inhale. Then turn palms out, push the air down and out, exhale. Then you're going to go to mountain pose. Now with mountain pose, toes go up, spread the toes as wide as you can. Each toe touches the floor. One at a time, knees are bent. Hips are tilted, arms are relaxed, shoulders relax, neck is relaxed. And then lengthen up. So you take the skeleton, pull yourself up. So think of a string on top of the head. And then you put, I don't bend down, I'm bending down. I know my hand disappears from the camera. Pull yourself up, lengthen up, and then let the skeleton stand as if you were just your skeleton. Finding that spot where that stability is in the skeleton. Everyone's going to look different. And remember, part of the stability is going with the flow. Again, something may ache over here, and you're like, whoa, you just go with it. That's true stability. You don't fight it. Something happens in this part of the hip, you don't fight it. That's not yoga. Fighting it is pushing. That's not what we're doing. We're letting go. And stability is in going with it. If you're too stable and you don't go with it, you'll break. That's not what you're doing. Same with the mind. You're learning this because of the mind. So when you think of something else, not your breathing, sometimes that takes you off balance. You don't fight it. You're like, you don't fight it, because what'll happen, you'll stay off balance. You go with it, you accept that you started thinking about something else, and then you bring yourself back. That's true stability. That's what you're learning in the mountain pose. Very basic pose. It's a standing pose. Everybody stands, right? Well, most everybody can stand. And then you just make sure you stand. You can do this sitting down too. So if you're in a chair, that's staying stability. Get stable. Even in a chair, mind will wander. You'll start to slouch. Boom, get up. Stability is in the movement. Stability is in flexibility. And then you're just going to focus on the breathing. You do that by watching yourself breathe. So you bring your focus to the belly. As you inhale, the belly expands with air. When you exhale, the belly goes in. You pay attention to that, focus on that, or you bring your focus to the tip of the nose and watch the air go in and out. Don't control it. Remember, you're already breathing automatically, so you just watch it. And what will happen is most likely you'll start to control it. And when you realize, hey, I'm controlling my breathing, just let go and watch it. And then what will happen, most likely, you'll start to think about other things. And then when you realize, hey, I've been thinking about other things and not my breathing, don't judge it. Just bring your focus back to the breathing. Think of nothing else but the breathing. And then what will happen eventually is that you'll realize you are the thing that is watching your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. So we're just going to stay here a little bit longer. So just watch yourself breathe. Bring the palms together, thumbs to the heart center. Namaste. And that's it. That is number 198 YouTube Live yoga routine. So just a recap, not a recap. Just a mention. When I said mention right there, I thought of quotation marks around it. That shows you how much I've been typing. I don't know if you've ever done this, but for me, this has nothing to do with yoga. Well, maybe it does. I type so much sometimes. I've been typing a paper that I have for a class. When I talk, I see myself typing it. Weird. Anyways, recap. Hopefully, inshallah. I was joking with inshallah, but true, inshallah. I'm hoping to get panels where the sound doesn't bounce off. I have a mic. I'm borrowing a mic, so I think I'm gonna get a mic like this or one a little bit better, so I don't want to wear one in my ear. Then I'll get panels that helps the sound not bounce. Carpet. I have a water heater here. Believe it or not, I need to cover that up. And everything's moving slowly. This will become my official yoga studio but it's taking time. It's been on hold for maybe 2 months, at least 6 months of me not buying anything for it because bills, Christmas time, the way my checks from work are coming in and stuff like that. So things are halting, making it stop, but I'm still doing yoga. That's the main thing. And I still have this image of this being my yoga studio where I will do other things as well. I also come in here and write my paper and all, but in my classes and grade and all that stuff. But anyways, that's a quick recap. So I'll see you tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. Arizona time, Mountain Standard Time. Namaste, peace and love.